The Marvel Cinematic Universe used to be amazing. We had gods, galactic conflicts, villains that were legitimately really cool, and now the MCU has turned into the MCU, and clearly it's not working out the way that Marvel anticipated. We've been seeing a ton of new movies release and end up underperforming, and while Phase 4 sounds like it'll have some pretty cool content like No Way Home and the Multiverse of Madness, things like Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, plus the Eternals aren't what people want, and there's a lot of rumors circulating right now that do not sound good for the Marvel brand. I have a couple of articles that I want to read, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via direct donations. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So let's start off with this Cosmic Book News article, and it says Marvel woke disaster. Eternals delayed with Shang-Chi box office bomb. There are a lot of rumors circulating right now that do not sound good for Marvel. So it says Kevin Feige's woke Phase 4 approach is turning out to be a disaster of epic proportions, as now it is reported that if Shang-Chi bombs at the box office, which it is expected to do, that Disney will delay the release of Eternals. This is actually a pretty hilarious situation because for months the media was defending Shang-Chi, saying, oh my goodness, this is gonna be amazing, everyone's gonna love this film, and now it's expected to bomb at the box office, and a lot of people who were previously really excited for it are just like, I mean, it's a new movie and that's good. A lot of people just have lost a lot of hype for it, and I feel like that's a big problem with Marvel right now. A lot of these films and TV shows like What If coming out just don't have a lot of hype behind them. It says the info comes from Vulture's report about how Sony is going to further delay the release of Venom 2, where the site reached out to additional studio sources to see if there would be similar delays, where it's noted that Marvel could delay the release of Eternals if Shang-Chi underperforms, which follows Black Widow being a colossal catastrophe. So right now it is being reported that Venom 2 will not be delayed again, and they are planning to release it in October, but it wouldn't be very surprising if they delayed it. A lot of studios right now just don't want to release movies where the box office isn't doing so great. And when it comes to Eternals, it is supposed to be a massive movie. I mean, it is supposed to have a huge audience. It's supposed to be a giant Marvel film. And following Shang-Chi, if it potentially underperforms, and then Black Widow, I think that it's safe to assume that they will delay it. It says among studio sources reached by Vulture, the short-term outlook is that autumn's big films, such as Dune and Top Gun Maverick, will most likely stay on their scheduled release dates, although Marvel Studios' Eternals could be delayed if the 24th MCU entry, Shang-Chi, underperforms at the box office upon its September 3rd release. There is a lot riding on the release of Shang-Chi, and I personally haven't seen a lot of people be really excited for it. I just haven't seen the hype behind this new MCU film. It says recent estimates have the Shang-Chi opening at the lowest debut of any MCU movie, including lower than Ant-Man's $57 million and the Incredible Hulk's $55 million, with a range of $35 to $55 million. I know a lot of people are saying we can't compare post-pandemic numbers to pre-pandemic numbers. A lot of people still aren't going to movie theaters, but at the same time, a lot of movies are doing really well in theaters. It says Disney is losing faith in Marvel. Similar to Black Widow, Disney seems to have lost faith in the Marvel brand, as following Disney releasing Black Widow at the same time in theaters and on Disney Plus, which has spawned a lawsuit from Scarlett Johansson, Disney announced that following a 45-day exclusive release, Shang-Chi will be made available digitally, something that has sparked controversy in regards to comments made by Disney CEO Bob Chapek and Shang-Chi's star Simu Liu. We are not an experiment, he said in regards to Chapek's comments about how Shang-Chi is getting an experimental release. We are the underdog, the underestimated. We are the ceiling breakers. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will preserve an embattled year. We are the surprise. Join us to make history on September 3rd. Join us. A lot of people were really disappointed with this actor's statements because he basically took one small statement from Bob Chapek and kind of blew it out of proportion and blew it up to try to get attention on Shang-Chi. A lot of people think that it was just kind of a PR stunt because there weren't a lot of people talking about Shang-Chi, which wouldn't really surprise me at this point coming from a company like Disney. It says it should be noted that obviously Disney was aware Black Widow was going to bomb big time, which is why they released it right away on Disney Plus, as Disney makes a lot more money from Disney Plus purchases than movie theater tickets at this point. It also seems obvious that Disney thinks Shang-Chi will be a bomb, which is why its 45-day theatrical release is considered an experiment, and Disney apparently thinks that the upcoming November release of Eternals will fail as well, hence the release date change. I'm very skeptical when it comes to the Eternals. While yes, the MCU has been good in the past, these are just characters that kind of seem thrown together like, oh, we need a new group of heroes to come in and save the day, and the Eternals is just what they came up with. I feel like the hype is just very low for all of these new Marvel films. None of them just seem that impressive. People know Marvel movies for being high budget, giant stories, and really over the top, and while that's made a great formula in the past, I think that people are ready to see stories that are unique. And unfortunately, the best Marvel can come up with is females are powerful and who needs men anyway? The multiverse phase does sound like it could be really cool, at least in my opinion, but they could very easily ruin it. We clearly know that they're more worried about diversity, inclusion, and pushing narratives instead of, very good storytelling and unique dialogue. I just think they're focused on the wrong things right now, and diversity and inclusion are good as long as you're not shoving it in everyone's faces, but that's what happens with a lot of these new films now. Hollywood definitely is not what it used to be. It says Feige's woke MCU approach is a bust. His woke approach doesn't look to be getting any better, as upcoming releases include a slate of woke content, which is where characters are changed for the sake of political correctness and or the liberal agenda is promoted at the expense of quality story. Shang-Chi, it says, Simu recently said the film will change the world and will give the audience an inspirational Asian character. Eternals, a gender-bent, race-swapped characters. Regarding the story, the trailer revealed that although the entire universe was threatened by Thanos, they decided to stay out of it. We heard recently that Eternals, the plan for it, before they even found a director, was to gender-bend characters and race-swap characters. They had that plan in place before they had any creative minds behind the project. They literally went into it knowing they wanted to change a bunch of stuff with the characters, like their race and genders. It says Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner replaced by Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop, and then Miss Marvel, a politically oppressed Muslim character that replaced Carol Danvers in the comics. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and with Marvel Comics killing Doctor Strange, a new woke MCU Doctor Strange is speculated, and it's also known Feige wouldn't allow Benedict Cumberbatch in WandaVision because he's a male character. This was so disappointing for me. I thought he would have done a fantastic job in WandaVision, even if he only showed up for like 5 minutes. He's such an important character. He is a great character too, by the way, and it just sounds like they really don't care about him. Oh my goodness, because he's a male. That is really disappointing to me. It says Thor Love and Thunder, Natalie Portman becomes the female Thor, and Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie is looking for her new queen of New Asgard. Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Rumors offer Shuri will become the Black Panther, and that Ironheart will be introduced in the movies, who replaces Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark in the MCU. We do know that Ironheart is confirmed. They have picked an actress, and it kind of sounds like they are going in the direction of Shuri becoming the new Black Panther, which could turn out well. She's already an established character and a pretty important character when it comes to Black Panther, but at the same time, we're gonna have to see what happens. Unfortunately, when it comes to Black Panther, They're really limited with what they can do because unfortunately Chadwick Boseman did pass away, so he cannot reprise his role anymore. I don't think the Shuri arc would be that bad considering the circumstances, but we're gonna have to see when it comes to Black Panther 2. It says in the comics, Ironheart is a teenage girl who steals Iron Man's tech and is allowed to keep the Iron Man suit. And then we have Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels. Just watch the first movie, and The Marvels will feature Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Monica Rambeau, and of course, Miss Marvel. The director recently said the movie is about pain and trauma. I don't want to watch movies all about all females' pain and trauma. I want to watch superhero movies. I want to see people kicking ass, chewing bubblegum, having a great time, giving me a great cinematic experience. In this phase for Marvel, there are some movies in here that do sound like they could be good, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We have things like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But there's just so much bad content mixed in here that I really don't think that this is going to go all that well. At the end of the day, I do really hope that this phase turns out well, but unfortunately, there's just a lot of content here that doesn't sound good. I hope that Eternals comes out and it's a fantastic movie. I don't want to see movies come out and instantly fail, but none of these films seem to be generating a lot of hype, and I personally don't have a lot of interest in them. Shang-Chi sounds like it's not going to be good. Black Widow wasn't good. Eternals sounds like it could be mediocre. And then we have films that they're relying on to do well, like Captain Marvel 2. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.